Today we are talking about old age, ladies and gentlemen. And when I say old age, what words come to your mind? That's what I want to know from you all. What words come to your mind when you hear the word old age? Because I know people in society have mixed feelings when they hear it, but I want to know what you think. Write it in the chat for me. What you think? Just any word that you associate with old age, and just blurt them out. You can say it, you can write it, but I'm curious to know what when you hear old age, what do you think about? Ancient. Okay, Gabriel said ancient. Okay, I like that. That sounds like really really old. What else? Anyone else? You can say it too. I know some people were talking Heba. If you all want to speak, I'm totally open to talking. I prefer that more than reading it. Bag of dust. Okay, I see that.
I
Only
think like,
Gabriel.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh,
Listen.
I think maybe like they like to watch like shows, like old shows.
Yeah,
Like, hmm
those old shows are kind of good. I grew up with my great grandmother, so I'm kind of in that old age now too, so I can understand them now. But good. I see Gabriel say ancient, bag of dust. So people have these negative words sometimes, but and it makes people feel like getting older is bad, but getting older really is not bad. Is aging just about getting older though? Or is it about changes in your body, your mind, your emotions, and how life and society starts to treat you? Okay. So, what we're going to be talking about today is the study of aging, and what sociologists determine that is called gerontology. Okay. And gerontology is just the study of aging. Okay. And when Scientologists, I was about to say Scientologists, you see where my brain is. When sociologists are talking about the study of aging, they're not just asking, okay, how old is someone? Okay. They're asking about how is their body changing? How are they thinking? How do they feel? What's happening in their life and in their environment. And as people get older, their bodies go through these changes. Okay. Sometimes their hair starts to turn gray. Their skin starts to become a little thinner. They get wrinkles. Their bones start to become fragile. And sometimes they get shorter. I don't know if you have all have ever seen that, but I have with my grandfather, and I just watched him just go. Just as he got older, he just started getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Now, sociologists, they divide aging, the study of aging, in three different sections, and that's biological aging, psychological aging, and also social aging. Now, what that means for us, to make it simple, when you think biological, you think the body. Okay. Think about physical changes that are happening, getting the wrinkles, the gray hair, you might start losing some eyesight. Okay. And when you think psychological, start thinking about the mind and your emotions. Okay. Think about as people get older, they often think more about life, think about their memories, their feelings. Sometimes big emotional changes happen in your life when you age, like losing a loved one or your significant other. And these things can strongly affect your mental health. Okay. And then when you think about social aging is talking about people's roles as it, as they age, people's roles in society, they start to change. Okay. And for example, when you get older and you work too long, sometimes it's time to retire, right? So when you retire, now you might start earning less money, you might start depending on others, and then society might start treating you differently as an elderly person. Okay. So these are the three different types. So I have a quick question for you. Which type of aging do you think has the biggest impact on a person's life? We're a little bit split between the two. Okay. The good thing is that all three of these are still interconnected. For example, if someone's health start to decline, which is a biological aging, they may start to lose their independence, which can lose to loneliness, and that's a psychological aging. Especially and then when they don't have the support that can be social. Okay, and one of the strongest influences And the social factors are the income and the environment. And these social factors are when people have more money, they tend to have better health care. I'm sure you all seen this. If you're from the United States, we all understand these social factors because when people live in lower income areas, their healthcare tends to be more expensive and they tend to struggle more and have limited resources as opposed to people with money. Okay. And these things are very important because going to the hospital one day when you don't have money, that can set a whole family in financial crisis. So it begs to question, is aging biological or is it social? That's the question I want to ask you all. Okay, before we get to this, do you think aging is biological or social? You can write it in the chat. You can turn on your mics and talk to me. I'm listening. Hello, anyone there?
I kind of think it's social because they also start to get lonely. And I feel like when I see someone like at a cafe that's alone, like especially like an old person alone, that's really sad. I feel like that's like they struggle with not having anyone to talk to, and like all their kids grow up and they get busy.
Yes, I agree. And, I'm one of those kids that if I see an elderly person, I always stop whatever I'm doing to go help them. And it is sad. So, yes, I'm glad you highlighted that point. I'm glad you have a good heart too. Anyone
Yeah.
else want to add in? Thank you. We need more students like this. Gabriel, I know you out there helping the elderly. I know you are. Oh, he's quiet now. All right. So here's what we're going to do. All right. I'm going to put you into small groups. Okay. And I'm going to put you in group A. Hold on. Can you guys see this? Okay. Group A, you're going to answer this. What is the biggest challenge of aging? And group B, is aging mainly biological, psychological, or social? Okay. I'm going to give you about 5 minutes. I want you all to just talk amongst each other. Please, y'all, don't be scared. We just here to have fun and talk and learn about each other's ideas because learning is also social. So, okay, have fun with this. All right. And after 5 minutes or so, I'll bring you guys back. I'll go into your groups and listen to and chime in if I can, and then I'll bring you guys back. Okay. Group A. Group A. What did you think is the biggest challenge of aging?
I think we think that like when people start to get a little older, like they get more slower in like a little more dumb but not in a mean way. Like just like processing stuff. Some things can be harder as they grow. They won't understand like some stuff.
That's excellent. That's excellent. Yes, definitely. Anybody want to chime in and add on to that? Good job, Heba. There's so many challenges when it comes to aging when you start to lose your faculties and you start to lose certain things like your memory. Like I know with my mom and dad, my parents are getting older. My dad's always worried if he forgets the keys or something. Now he thinks he has Alzheimer's. So that those type of things can be scary. So very true. What about group B? Is aging mainly biological, psychological, or social? What do you guys have? Hello, anyone from group B? Gabriel, Stacy.
Uh, I feel like it's a social. I feel like it's more social. And I was saying about how I used to watch this show called Highway to Heaven. It's like an old '90s show.
Hmm.
And in one of the episodes, he's a dude who's undercover as like an angel,
Hmm.
and he helped an old person find love. And I feel like it's hard for old people to find like to be like socially out there in society because I mean you're not going to see like a 90-year-old hanging around with 20-year-olds.
Very true. That's very true. And it does beg a interesting question when you start to really look at aging to think, okay, is it really about getting old? Because getting old seems like a good thing, but when you think about it, do I have friends when I'm old? Am I going to be the only one alive? Like, these are the type of things from a social standpoint that starts to have more weight. And Santana says she feels like his psychological health is a big thing for older people because of the mental issues you can get when you're older. Yes, very true. There's a lot of things. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Santana. It- did I call you a she? I'm sorry. All right. So now we're going to go into this reading. This is a case study from your reading. I'm not sure if you all did the reading, so I made sure that I put it in here. I'm going to give you about 10 minutes, and I want you to read this story. Um, and I want you to think about what we've been discussing about, physical, emotional, and social changes. Okay. And then take a moment to really dive into what's going on here about this old age with this older gentleman here. And I'm going to give you about 10 minutes to read it. And then when you are done, please give me a thumbs up. If that way, if you guys finish before then, we can continue. Okay. So, does anyone have any questions for me? If you all can click on this, give me a thumbs up first to let me know that you can click on it and see it. Peyton cannot see it. Okay, Peyton, 1 second. Um, Peyton, can you get into the Curie Live here where it says here? The code is here. Let's get you in. There it is. All right. Please click on the reading. You're welcome, buddy. And I'll give you 10 minutes or less, but I'm sure you guys 10 minutes should be enough. But if you need more time, let me know that you need more time. Okay. Let me put my timer on. Takes too long to do it on the computer, so I'll just do it here. All right, ready, set, go. What did you think about what Edward is experiencing right now? How did it make you feel? It's sad. It
That's
feels
so
kind of sad.
sad.
Yes, yes. My heart was broken reading it, and I'm like, I just want to, Edward. I'll be your son. Yeah. So, what do you think Edward needs the most right now? Now that you've read his story, if you can give him one thing, what would it be? He needs support to overcome the loneliness. Okay. Company. Okay. So social. So is his problem only social, you think? Or might he have more issues in other parts, like the physical or the emotional side of it as well? No limitation physically, yes. Okay, Peyton says more on the emotional side. Okay. So let me ask you this. Now, it talked about his sons, and I want to know because I mean we're all children, we all have parents and grandparents. What role do you think his sons play in this situation? Were they helpful? Were they harmful? How do you feel? What role do they play?
Definitely harmful. Like you can't like at least like visit him or like I don't know, spend time with him at least. If like, you're like states away, like that's crazy. That's so mean. I you know.
Yeah, I agree. That's it's but everyone said that's dissing him. They should be there for him, but they aren't. So, okay, I like where we're going. Can it also be said that they could be a little too busy? Sometimes we all have jobs, sometimes we have careers, and we can't just drop everything to go to, correct? So it could be something like that, but you don't know. Sometimes that with the family dynamic, it might be best to put someone in a home or something like that. Okay. You never know until you walk into their shoes in life. True, but if you're busy, you put someone aside for them for love. Better said. Yes, I agree. Listen, I agree with you all. Like, for example, for me, and I want to ask you all this too. I'll give you an example. My great grandmother was my best friend, and My aunts who lived in Miami, and I rarely saw them. They never came to see my great grandmother, and all of a sudden they put her in a nursing home. And my entire family was upset, but because they weren't there, they decided she's our mom, this is what we're going to do. So I understand, and I was very upset as a young 12-year-old boy. But what about you? In your culture, how does it work with the elderly in your culture?
I'm from Morocco, so like literally everyone's always together there, like cousins, aunts, uncles, like literally everyone. Like you can't really leave an old person alone like that. Like they're like kids are probably like they'll probably move in with them. At least like I know that's probably crazy in like this society that I'm living in. But like when you go to like Morocco and stuff like that, like literally their kids like if like their mom can't like walk down the stairs properly. Like I mean maybe I have like a nice family, but they like moved in with like my grandma because like she has like some disabilities, you know, and like
Hmm.
maybe she needs help walking up and down the stairs, you know. So they just
Hmm.
it's like at least you don't have to move in, but like at least help, you know.
Yes. Yeah, that's and it, and that's something that you don't see often in parts of the U.S. I know in the South it's practiced a little bit more than other places, but yes, that's having the elderly being supported, as they tell you that it takes a village to raise a child. But I wonder what happens to the village when we become old too. Let's see. Okay, Stacy says in my culture, no matter what, no one is ever alone because I stated last time we are more unity if we aren't blood. Good. I like that. My grandpa got sent to a nursing home before he passed. He had dementia, but besides that, he was mostly fine. And when he was sent to the nursing home, his health declined. Yep. Yes. And you know what, Santana? Excuse me. I thought that was Peyton. Santana. That happened to my great grandmother, and it makes me want to do a deeper study into um, social aging because my great grandmother was completely fine. She had Alzheimer's. She remembered me and my sister for whatever reason. She remembered us every day. She couldn't remember her children unless she saw it on her ring. But the moment she went to a nursing home, she passed away almost maybe not even a month into it. So that happened to me too. So I fully understand you. Now, in what ways are Edward's problem connected rather than separate? Meaning his social, his psychological, and his physical, his biological aging problems. Like, how are they connected? It says that it talks about it in the reading. He's having all of these problems, but how do they all connect with each other? Does anyone know?
Like when he's looking for the glasses, he almost tries to call for his wife that died 2 months ago. And he's like, oh my
Hmm.
God, wait, like she's not even here, you know, so that connects.
Yes, that's a major connection. And he's starting to realize like, I can't move around as fast as I want. I can't go to the store. I can't contact anyone. I can't find certain things. So yes, Stacy, go ahead.
I feel like it connects in the way that at first he was like, I need to do this. I want to go down the stairs. But because of his limitations towards, because of his age, he
Hmm.
he says that he didn't even remember going down that many flight of stairs, and that connects by maybe if he had someone they could help him
Yep.
remember or even help him go down the stairs. And then once he goes down, um, he remembers that he needs food, but he can't go to the store because he can't drive there. And that connects as well to needing someone because someone could take him there, or someone could even order food through the phone. But it like generalized with the elders since there wasn't that much electricity back then.
Hmm.
They don't know phones that much, and I feel like it all connects to as well his sons. I think it was that
Hmm.
if they would have been there for him, he wouldn't have gone through that, even if you send him to a nursing home. Personally, my belief is that nursing homes should only be for the ones that don't have families. Um,
Yes.
because
Yeah, I agree. Go ahead.
yeah, because if you send someone to a nursing home and they're still family, it's like more like of a I don't want you in my family anymore. So it's like personally, my family is all about jobs.
Hmm.
But if it comes to family being in trouble or needing help, we will always put that aside. No matter how much involved into work we are, we will always put time aside for the family we love. And if you don't do that, it's probably like you don't love them. That's not love.
Hey, I think is your family taking applications? Tell them I can be a good son, a good uncle. I want a family like that. Hello? Doesn't that sound like an amazing family? I'm glad that you have such an amazing family that does that. And hopefully one day we can all model ourselves after your family, because that's the definition of a village. It takes a village to raise a child, but we also need to take our village and help our elderly, because they're the ones we learn our values, and the principles of right and wrong, and everything from them. So it's very important. So I'm gonna put you back in breakout rooms with I'm gonna mix you up again probably, and what's going to happen is second. All right, I'm going to show you what it is. I want you to answer this question. I want you to decide this with your group, and then when we come back, we'll talk. Okay. And I want you to answer this question: to what extent is Edward responsible for his situation, and to what extent is society responsible? Can you all hear me? Hello? Test, test. Can everyone hear me now? Okay. All right. So, group A, let's talk. What do you think? To what extent is Edward responsible for his situation, and to what extent is society responsible? Group A. Go ahead, Peyton.
So it's not inherently his fault. However, he
Mhm.
could have joined like a community group with people his age.
That's very true. I like the way you kept it short and simple. That's very true. And sometimes people don't think about the resources that they might have available to them to do that. Sometimes people don't even think about that as an option too. So that's very true. Anyone else from Group A that want to chime in? Stace, Heba, anyone? Okay, Group B. Anyone? Can anyone hear me? I know it's saying that my connection is going slow. Go ahead, Stace.
We just, well, Heba came up with the conclusion that it's not Edward's responsible. Because it's not his fault that age exists. It's not. And
Mhm.
age is something that just happens. Us ourselves will be there one day. Um, and it's sad to think that many society is so generalized. Okay, just take them to that nursing home and it'll be fine and they'll be taken care of there. But you really never know what's going on in the nursing home. I had seen this one video once that was like, this guy took someone to a nursing home and you saw them, like someone said right now that they passed away as soon as they took them to the nursing home. Like you don't know what's going on in the nursing home because you're not the one taking care of them. A family's love is way more important than a random person's love for you. Even though it is generalized for love for people who don't have family or who can't be taken care of anymore, it's
Mhm.
you never know what's going on. So it's like it's society's responsibility, truly.
Like yeah, I didn't really think about the like he could find a group. Yeah, that too. The definitely I really didn't think about that. But
Mhm.
also, I really think society's normalizes dropping off your parents at nursing home. I guess people are just like maybe people like aren't as emotional about it or like but like your parents raised you. Like if they raise you good then like it's like I guess it's different for your childhood maybe, but like either way they're still your parents and they should be treated good. And yet like they like society's normalizes dropping off your parents at like the nursing home, like leaving them be at home all alone.
Hmm. That also happened to my grandfather as well. With him having Alzheimer's and going into the nursing home, they start to decline really really fast, and it might be from a lack of a social life at that elderly age, which I think is very important. Man, you guys are killing it today. Wow. So let's talk about. We talked about this earlier, but I want you to type it in here, and we'll talk more about it. And it goes back to what Heba and I were talking about earlier. And in some places, elderly people live alone or they live in nursing homes. But in other cultures, they might live with the family and are deeply respected, similar to Stacy and Heba's family. But I want to know about everyone else. Talk about your culture. And I put some sentence frames here that'll help you be able to, write it down and communicate it a little easier. Um, and just talk about your culture. And if you don't have one, talk about the culture that you want to build one day with your family when you get old. Tell me that if you already have that, or tell me what you would like it to look like. Okay, I'll give you 2 minutes to write that, and we are ready, set. Ooh, we got 24 words written. Turn up, y'all. Let's go. 21, 21. Turn up. See, I'm a part of that pop culture. See, I understand a little bit of lingo. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Y'all thought I didn't know that. Think I'm just an old man that like to talk, huh? All right, let's see what we got. Only 24 answers? All right, let's see. All right, we take care of family. Take of our Emily and our family because we know loss is tough. Very good. My family's culture loves rural areas and gospel music. Mine too. I come from a little bit of a rural area and gospel music. My grandma used to live by herself, and my grandpa died, but she ended up remarrying 3 years later. Wow, I say she's pretty. That's amazing. Now that we all talked about this is what happens in our culture, and and we can look at how everyone else does it. But what do you actually think? Do you think that society has a responsibility, or does the family has the responsibility? Tell me what you think, and you all can talk. This is just an open forum. This is not. You don't have to do all of the typing. I would rather have this be a conversation between us, if that's okay with you all. I want to be an open floor conversation right here. There we go, Peyton. Lead the way, Peyton. Lead the way.
I think society has some responsibility for elderly people, but also family too.
How so?
Well, both society and their family should be like helping in with someone who might be alone.
Mm-hmm. Good. Heba, Stace,
I
Gabriel.
agree.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry. Like both of them are responsible, like your family is, but just because society has a different look on it doesn't mean your family has to get affected by it, you know? But
Mm-hmm.
like your family should still be like supporting you, you know?
Definitely. Go ahead, Stacy.
I agree
That's
with
awesome. Yeah, I like that answer.
that.
They both do. Go ahead, Stacy.
Yeah. But it's because I believe society is not as responsible for the well-being of them, because yes, it's generalized on, I don't know if you've seen like the ingredients of the food you make, but not all of it is good. And I feel like society generalized on, personally, this is embarrassing to state, but I'm from McAllen, Texas originally, which if you
Mm-hmm.
see the charts, it's number two of the most obese city in the world. Um, and
Oh.
society itself can make that smaller and limit at like what you eat. Generalized can take a lot in elderly, like on how you grow a base
Mm-hmm.
healthy and physically, you know. And I feel like generalized it is more the family though, because the family should be there for someone they love, you know, especially if they're an elderly. Like as I stated, elderly are honored in my culture. They're honored. They
Mm-hmm.
raised you, they structured you, they disciplined you, and just because of them, that's why like that's how you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it could also be social.
Definitely. Um, you know, you I heard the little one in the back. He sounds like he's having
Yes,
a
sorry.
no, no, it's okay. It's okay. He sounds like he having Playhouse Disney back there. But yes, I do agree. They definitely should be honored. And in our culture, in U.S. culture, oftentimes that's not always the case, and they're not always taken care of. Gabriel Santana, what do you think about it? A mix of both. Okay, they say society, a mix of both a little. Okay, it makes you, Stacy, you said something very important about the food. And that's really important because there's countries like Costa Rica and Japan that have what we call blue zones, where people tend to live longer. And a lot of it has to do with their diet. And it makes you think about a lot of the foods that we do eat in the US is highly processed food with, sugars, starches, and, foods that come in a box. And a lot of times when you get old, you need food that comes off of a tree or out of the ground because that's how you maintain your health. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to say thank you all. You have been so kind to me these last few weeks of teaching you. Um, I love that you all have goals, educational goals, and that you're all striving for greatness. Um, if you all have any questions outside of this, I told you just send me an email. I'll give you all my other email that I'm more accessible on, because after today, this is going to be our last class. But I'll still be around. I just won't be directly in this class. Okay. So before we get out of here, I do want to ask you this. What's one thing that elderly people face, and what's one way that we can improve their lives with something that they can face? I like to be problem solvers, but these are things that we can all implement in our daily lives. Our last class is when I'm not sure when the last class, Peyton, is, but with us, it'll be with me. You'll continue with Mr. Hiron. One thing elderly people face is loneliness. Yes. Now, what's one we can improve? We can improve loneliness. Health. Yes. It's isolation. Yes. When other people are not there with them. Okay. And now I want you all to have one way to improve it. How can you improve it? One thing elderly people face is older they get, the less people they have. One way to improve their lives is to be there for them, even if you don't know them. Excellent. Frequent gym visits. Okay. Surrounded with people and people that they love. Yes, yes, yes. Does anyone have any goals or aspirations to work with the elderly by any chance?
I haven't actually thought of it, but it seems kind of interesting. I feel like that would go with me. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a cool job. Like they have jobs where people go to be entertainers. I'm not sure. I'm sure you all are on social media, but when you go on social media, they have people that go and throw concerts and parties, and teachers. They go to help them. Work their motor skills with their hands, and they put little games to help keep their brains fresh. So they have a lot of careers that cater to the elderly, but it's not a big field. So it definitely would be something to look into if you haven't. Um, Definitely. Okay, Peyton, you don't use social media. Oh, Stacy does volunteering in the nursing home. Okay. Being able to take care of themselves if nobody's around. Yes, that's true, Santana. So, Stacy, you do volunteering. How long have you been doing that?
I did it only for literally like a month or two, but it's really inspiring and it's really
Yeah.
like they don't pay you for it, but it's like such a like I love doing it because generalized something I did see when I was there at the moment.
Mhm.
It's they love talking to young people. They love it. And it doesn't matter how, if you don't know them, like literally just being there, simply being there with them, it brings a smile to them. It's honestly, it's so inspiring and really, it's a really good feeling when you know you can help them out.
Yes, definitely. I would love to start a program for older people to have, maybe doing exercises and just, think tanks and things that they can actually, stay active, So I definitely love old people. I have a lot of elderly, cousins. Like one of my cousins, he passed away many years ago, but he was one of the oldest living people in the state of Florida. He died when he was like 109 years old. And so, and I would go and visit him just to look at him and be like, holy crap, he's really old. How do you do it? And he would sit down and plop down and pick his legs up and fold them and tie them up. And I'm just like, ooh, like that don't hurt. Yeah. So getting old is a beautiful thing. I wish that everyone can get old, but it goes back to what Stacy said. Make sure you watch what you eat. Please watch what you eat because that is so important. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me? Concerns? Anything that you want to ask? I am open. And if you have another class to go to, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all.